So welcome in this video where I would like to show you the step-by-step setup of a Microsoft Copilot Studio agent that can read the attachments of the emails you are receiving, uses the OCR to get the data from the documents, and then with the help of an AI prompt, you can regulate what kind of data should be processed, should be extracted, that is stored afterwards in an online Excel table in an organized way. I will show you the setup of the flow in FlowSpec, and then right after that we will live build it together and test it at the very end of the video. Let me dive into it. So the topic of today's video is the multipurpose document processor, automated email, then an OCR, AI data extraction, and then the data are stored in an online Excel file, as I mentioned to you. What we will use is the Outlook, Copilot Studio Agent, AI Builder OCR, an AI prompt action, and then an online Excel file. The basic setup we have an email trigger, then one Microsoft Copilot Studio agent with one topic that we will use, and after that inside this topic we will have an agent flow. And the functions that we will go through on is that we have an email collection with the attachments, then OCR processing, data extraction from the OCR text, then an Excel export, and organization means that the email that has been processed will be moved to the processed folder. The flow is looking like this in FlowSpec. Basically, in the very beginning, we have the email trigger. In the email trigger, when a new email arrives action. After that, a prompt is sent to the Copilot Studio agent. Then we have the Microsoft Copilot Studio agent. Inside the agent, one topic, and everything is put inside this topic. We are setting a variable. Then we have the action, which is containing the agent flow. Here we have the doc process topic. Inside the doc process topic, we have the doc process OCR agent flow. When the agent calls the flow, we are getting the email data, initializing a variable. After getting the email data, we're getting the attachment details, then adding to the initialized string variable the file name of the attachment first. After that, using the recognized text in image or document action in order to OCR all the data inside the documents. And with the help of two embedded applied to each loops, we are adding all this text to this all text string variable as a long text variable. But not only the text, I will show you, we are also storing the coordinates of the bounding boxes of the text, the top left coordinates. With that, the agent afterwards in the AI action will know where the texts are placed inside the document in order to have a full picture. Then we are sending it back to the agent with the help of a variable, which is the OCR variable, which is a string variable. Then we are having a prompt action, which is the main action inside the topic with the following prompt setup, in which we are analyzing the input OCR text and gathering the data that we want to see from the different types of documents we are creating. We can set up an agent for invoices, for example. Now I will show you example with invoices, but you can manage agreements, contracts, orders, offers, anything you want, and you can utilize it in a way you want to see the data. Then with the help of a loop through a list action, we are just attaching these data we extracted from the documents in an online Excel table that I will show you right now. And finally, with the move email action, we are moving the processed email to another folder. In SharePoint, we have the doc process folder for this demo, for this purpose. Inside this, we have the doc data's online Excel file, which has only 3 columns, the file name, the data, and the value. These 3 columns will be filled with the data received from the documents. Now let me show you how you can set up this flow easily with the usage of the data inside the FlowSpec, and we are live building it together. Let's see first. We have the when an email arrives trigger. we need to set up the include attachments only with attachments, and the folder is the to process folder. This means if the email arrives to a to process folder, or if we have in inbox an email with an attachment we want to process, just simply move it to the to process folder, and this flow will be triggered. Now I have prepared a simple agent here with a 0 setup, and I'm adding quickly the when an email arrives trigger, which can be found here. Next, I need to set up the connections. Okay, perfect. Then I say that I want to check only a dedicated folder, which is the to process folder. I said that I want to include the attachments only with attachments, because now this flow is all about the attachments. And I will need to modify the body that will be sent to the agent, just that I can manage in Power Automate. I need to create the trigger first. It is done. And here I say edit in Power Automate. Here I have the two actions inside this trigger, and here this one I need to modify in a way that I would like to show you here in FlowSpec, that I just simply need to send the body message dynamic value to the agent. This means that I'm deleting this whole input here, and I'm selecting the message ID that I'm just sending to my agent, and then this for each loop will be automatically created, which is also indicated here in FlowSpec. So now we have the trigger setup that I can publish now. This means my trigger is ready. If we check then the next steps in FlowSpec, now we are here by the instructions of the agent. We just simply need to say by any input always start the topic doc process. I can just simply copy this text from here. I need to add it as an instruction to the agent, and the topic should be created first, of course. I'm just saving this text, and as we can see here, the doc process topic will be used. That means in the topic, I'm just adding a topic from blank, doc process is the name. I'm saving it. And with the overview now, I can edit the instructions, and with this dynamic input, I can say the doc process should be used. Save. It is there. Then we need to jump back to our topic. Let's see the first action we need to manage. We need to set the variable value. Message ID prompt is the name, and the value should be the system activity text. I'm just adding the variable management, set variable value, new variable, the variable name. I can also copy from here. Exactly, and the value should be a system value, which is the system activity text, basically, which is the input prompt that we are receiving from the trigger that contains the message ID. So what we are doing now is that we are saving the message ID in this message ID prompt string variable. Then what we are doing is we are adding the agent flow. Doc process OCR is the name of the agent flow, and the only input is the message ID prompt. And this message ID prompt will be saved in the flow as message ID string input. So what we do now is that we are adding a tool, new agent flow, I'm not leaving the page, I'm just saving this first. And now I can say add a tool, new agent flow. Here I can say that the input, as we said, is the message ID, like this, saving it as a draft. I'm just renaming that. Doc process OCR is the name. Back to the designer, we have the when an agent calls the throw trigger, which is the first action in the doc process OCR agent flow with the message ID input. Then we need a get email where we have the message ID as the input text, and include attachment is turned on, is yes. So we need to get the get email. This one, the message ID is a dynamic value, which is the input message ID, and the include attachment is turned to yes. Just saving the draft. Then the next action, we need to add, just checking, initialize variable all text. The value is null, and it's a string variable. Here name all text string variable value is set to null with the help of this formula. I'm just adding it here. Save. Next step, we need to have an apply to each loop which is going through on the attachments. I'm just adding apply to each loop action here, which needs to go through on the attachments, and inside this apply to each loop I will have the attachment action where we have the message ID input and the attachment ID input. Here we have the get attachment. The message ID is the dynamic input we received with the trigger, and the attachment ID is coming from the get email action where we have the attachment ID variable here. Then what we do is we are appending to the string variable, the alt text, the following formula. We are saying we are inside the loop, and we say append to string variable, alt text, and this formula we just copying, where here the attachment name is used from the get attachment action. So this text in alt text always starts with the file name, and then with this text, the content of the file is the following. After that, we need to add the recognize text in image or document action, where we have the following input, which is the body content bytes value from the get attachment action. We have the action here. Basically, we can just copy paste from prospect the input, and we get the correct content byte dynamic value. Then after that, what we need to do now is we are having two apply to each loops embedded inside each other. The first one is looping through on the following results value of the recognized text in image or document action, and one inside it is going through on the lines. I'm just simply copying the variable and saying that I need to have another applied to each loop here, which is using the following dynamic value that you can also find. Here, this one is that. Then inside this, I have another applied to each loop, which is using this value, which is basically these line values. Then inside this, we need to add another append to string variable action, where we will have a complex formula that we need to copy in. We are extending the alt text variable with some more text. Append to string variable, we have the alt text, and a value will be a formula that you can copy from here as well. With this formula, we are storing the text values from the OCR action, and also the top left coordinates of the bounding boxes of the text. And this one we are appending to the alt text variable. So we have the file name, then this content of the file text, then we are storing all the text and the coordinates of the bounding boxes. I'm just quickly saving this agent flow now. And then finally we have the response to the agent, where we are responding the OCR variable with string variable, and this is basically the alt text variable, the input or the content of the alt text variable here. This response to the agent action we need to extend with the text output. OCR is the name, and the value is simply the alt text variable. Saving this draft again and publishing it. Now, if an email contains more attachments, it will go through on all attachments, and in this alt text variable, the content, the input of these attachments will be stored one after the other. But with the help of the file name tag, we will see also in the variable that which input, which content is connected to which attachment. Now we have the agent flow set up. Now we can jump back to the Microsoft Copilot Studio topic, which we have here. And then we can add now here our new doc process OCR agent flow as an action, where the input should be the message ID variable, and the output will be stored as an OCR string variable, which is already set up here. I'm just saving this topic and checking what is the next step. Now we have our prompt action, where we have the OCR variable as the input, and the doc process logic is the name of the prompt we will use. So what I'm doing now is that I'm adding a new prompt. The name is the doc process logic, and the input or the content of this prompt is the following. First, the OCR text input of the document or documents is the OCR input, which should be turned into a text input. OCR input, close. And then the description, Text in the OCR input is structured in the following way. The file name of the document is always indicated first, then we have the text, and after that the coordinates of the bounding boxes, as I mentioned to you. After these characters, a new bounding box is coming. It can be that in one input, the content of multiple files are present. By each file, the file name is indicated. What to do? Please gather all the relevant data in the documents, and the output is a JSON file with these three parameters: the file name, data, and value. These are the column names in our online Excel file as well. And for example, the file name of the document where the data is sourcing from the OCR input. Please generate an array even if only one file is present in the input. So for all of these three properties, we will have an array, different items, multiple items inside, and we are initiating it here in the prompt with the file name, by the file name property, and then we say by the data that the data type requested in point 3, this is what the data should be, above and available in the OCR input. Please generate an array in connection with the array of the file name property, and this is said also by the value property, that please generate an array in connection with the array of the file name and data properties. This means that by the file name property, we are saying that, or we are setting which values, which parameters we want to store in this variable. We are generating the array, and to this array, we are storing the data type and the value basically. So this means that all three properties will have the same number of items inside. So the length of the arrays of all three properties will be the same, and they are connected to each other. In this way, we can store them row by row, and the data in one row in an Excel file will be connected to each other, so they are belonging together. General rules: please ignore grammar and spelling mistakes. I'm saying that I'm using the GPT-5 reasoning model here. I'm just adding a simple example because I want to get a JSON output, and that I need to test first. And this will look like this. If I have data's input, then it is filled with real data. I'm saving this. Meanwhile, checking what should be done next, we need to set up the loop through a list action, where the items to loop over should be the following formula that I can copy from Flowspec. Now I have here first by the prompt action, I'm saying that the input is the OCR, and I forgot to say that the output is the dog process logic output record variable, which is a JSON variable set up in the way that we have three properties, and all three are a type string. Output, new variable, the name of the variable, dog process logic output. Then what we can do is that we can say we want loop through a list action, where, as I have mentioned to you, items to loop over is a formula that you can copy here from Flowspec as well. Looking like this is a table. Loop value 1 is the record we will use after that. And then we are having a tool here. Sorry, I'm saving this topic. We have two tools already set up. This one is an add a row into a table, dog data's XL6, which is an add a row into a table online Excel action, where I'm just saying that only when referenced by topics or agents it will be used, and the maker provided credentials I'm using here. And this is important, where in the inputs I'm saying my SharePoint site, my document library, my file I'm searching in the SharePoint, and also setting the name of the table that needs to be extended with the rows. It's very important that you have here a table with a table name that you can set as an input here for this action. And the other tool that we need to set up is a move email process, which has also the same settings here, and the folder where the emails should be moved after the process is the processed folder that you can indicate here. And these are the default setting of these tools that we will need in the next steps now. I'm jumping back to the topic. In FlowSpec, we need to say that we are using the add a row into a table where the input item is the loop value 1 from the previous action. I'm just saying here that I'm adding a tool, add the row into the table, dog data, where I need to have an input item, which will be the loop value 1 record that we have generated here in the previous action. And finally, what we are doing, that we have stored all the data in the online Excel table, is that we are moving the email to the processed folder. So the trigger was started when we moved the email to the to processed folder. Now the email is processed, we are moving it to the processed folder. For that, we are using the move email tool that I showed you. We are just adding it here, add the tool, and the tool is the move email processed, where the input should be the message ID prompt. Like this. I'm saving this topic, publishing the flow, and now let me show you in an example how this flow is running. I have prepared an email in my inbox folder, which I have sent with 5 attachments, PNG, JPG, image data, and also PDFs. These are invoices that I have generated with the help of an AI, so all fictional data. As you can see, I have different formats with different content here, and also multi-page PDF files here as well that I have received as an email. And now what I'm doing is that I'm moving it to the to process folder. It can be found here in the to process folder, and this should be managed now. And when it's ready, that I can see when the email is moved to the process folder. As we can see, the email disappeared from here, and this we can find here in the process folder. Sorry, let's see what happened in the background. We have our online Excel file filled with data, where we have the file name in the first column, and then the data type and the different values. Basically, now we just gathered general data. We said in the prompt, as you can see here, that the task is to please gather all relevant data in the documents. This one you can regulate. You can also set up this prompt in a way that you have other columns in the online Excel table. It is connected with this prompt and with the JSON variable, and you can set up different prompts, different agents for different type of documents as well. That's why it's a multi-purpose setup that you can utilize in a way as you wish. What you can also do now easily, if you have all the data of the flow, the complete setup, and also the variables, prompts, resources, in Prospect that if you want to have documentation, you just simply generate it with the help of the AI, selecting a template that contains here now almost everything, just using this template. Here is it, with all the administrative data, preconditions, output data, screenshots from the canvas that you can regulate what should be presented and what not, and process step descriptions, also some KPIs, monitoring log, document control. And what you can also do if you want to implement it inside an organization, for example, and test together the users, you can generate with the help of the AI test scenarios as well. Looking like this, successful document processing, what steps should be tested. You can add the remark, the status, and work together with the internal team. Basically, this is what I wanted to show you and how you can build a flow when you have a flow spec input that you can just simply replicate or rebuild in Copilot Studio Agent Flow and in Power Automate. If you want me, I can share with you this flow spec flow. Just please leave a comment below and I will get in contact with you. And if you also have any other business ideas, business cases that you think it would work to create a video about, please also leave a comment below.